Although still not 100% complete, the baseball team has finally moved into their new digs on Nicholson Drive. Sports Showtime's Brittany McCrae has more from the Tigers' first day of practice at the new Alec Box Stadium.
The grass of the new Alec Box Stadium felt cleats for the first time on Tuesday. Coach Paul Maneri and his team held their first practice in the new ballpark, confirming that it would be the place they would indeed play at against Villanova on February 20th.
We're out here practicing for the next 2.5 weeks in anticipation of the 20th. We're not going to practice out here for 2.5 weeks and then go play at another ballpark.
Although it's a whole new facility, the Tigers hope that the fans will bring back the atmosphere and traditions of the old Alec Box Stadium. Everything from the left field lunatics to the infamous K-Lady. Getting in the new box before opening day is going to help the Tigers learn their new field. The pitchers tested out the new mound. The outfielders got a feel for how the ball bounces off their new 10-foot wall. The infielders learned how a ball hops in the fresh dirt. It's not just the new field, but the stadium itself that excites the players.
You know, it's awesome. We came here the other day and to see it from that perspective when we walked through the outfield, see the seats and see how big and you know, just this cathedral is what I call it.
It's almost a relief to Coach Maneri and his team to finally get on the field that has been promised to the program for years.
Smoked them told me my sophomore year, and like it was a year behind, but I didn't think it was going to be anything quite like this.
With the season starting in just 2 weeks, LSU wants to break in the new stadium just right by hosting a regional and a super regional and returning to Omaha. Reporting for Sports Showtime, I'm Brittany McCrae.
At least 9,000 fans are expected to attend the season opener at the new stadium on February the 20th.
Well, it's now time for our first commercial break. When we come back, we'll break down all the LSU and intramural basketball action.
We'll also have an inside look at one of the tennis team's hidden weapon. Stay tuned, you're watching Sports Showtime on Tiger TV. Welcome back to Sports Showtime. The men's basketball team traveled to Athens last night looking to put the Georgia Bulldogs back in the doghouse.
And the Dogs were no match for the dynamic Tiger duo of Marcus Thornton and Tasman Mitchell.
LSU pulled off the easy victory, 80-62. Marcus Thornton led the way with his 5th 30-point game of the season, along with 6 rebounds, and was 5 for 5 in free throws. Tasman Mitchell was right behind him, scoring 27 points with 11 rebounds, and was 3 for 4 at the line.
The Tigers are now 6-1 in the SEC, putting them on top of the SEC West over Mississippi State. Trent Johnson's squad will take on Alabama at noon on Sunday. We now welcome in our basketball expert, Jason Template, to discuss the big win last night. How's it going, Jason?
Good, Mary Clay. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too. All right, well, can you explain to us how the Tigers dominated over the Bulldogs last night?
Hate to say this over and over again. I feel like an old Buddy Holly record. Probably some of you parents got. And I say it again, though. Tasman Mitchell, Marcus Thornton. When these two players put up great, almost perfect games, the Tigers are close to unbeatable. They were just fantastic last night. They took 34 shots combined and only missed 11. That makes less sense than Godfather 3. And I know you love mafia movies.
I do. I like that analogy there, Jason. All right, well, what concerns did you have about the game last night?
A couple concerns for me. The two other players besides the All-SEC candidates, Thornton and Mitchell, besides those two, the rest of the team only had 23 points. That's a recipe for disaster. Bo Spencer was 0 for 7 from the field, which won't happen again. He's been shooting pretty well this season. Terry Martin continues to struggle as he was 1 for 6 and now shooting 34% for the season. They need more production from the bench to win the SEC, and now Quentin Thornton could be out for a couple of games with a shoulder injury.
All right, well, hopefully everyone can step up this weekend. Big game against Alabama. What do you think is so important about the Tigers getting back at Alabama this weekend?
Well, they just need to avenge that. That was the only loss they had this season, so they need to do something to win this game. In Bama, they would call for 28 fouls. That's exactly double the fouls called on Bama. That won't happen again at home. Tasman was in foul trouble all game. I expect a huge game this Sunday. If they can stay out of foul trouble and dominate the boards, I expect a big win. And all they need to do, wake up, have a good breakfast. I had a good breakfast. I'm having a good show right now. So.
That's right. All right, well, you have something else to tell us, don't you, Jason?
I do. Really exciting stuff for me. This Sunday at 6 p.m., I'll be interviewing the legend Dale Brown on 91.1 KLSU, my radio show, Out of Bounds. Be sure to tune in and listen to the legend talk about LSU basketball. Dale Brown, I'm sure he's got some stories to tell us. I can't wait. So I expect you to tune in.
I definitely will. Don't worry about that, Jason. Thanks for coming in
Thank
today.
You.
All right, now over to you, Brian.
While the men's basketball team is in the second half of their season, the men's tennis team is just getting started, hosting their first home meet of the season this weekend. Sports Showtime's Carter, the Power, Bryant, profiles a young man flying under the radar for the Tigers this season.
With senior stars Mike Venus, James Kluski, and Jonathan Tragarth, many forget that head coach Jeff Brown has many more weapons in his arsenal. one of which is sophomore Julian Gauthier. As a freshman, Gauthier played primarily as a number 3 spot in the Tigers lineup, boasting an impressive 17-16 singles record. Coming from Montreal, Canada, Gauthier speaks about the transition from life up north to here in the Red Stick, or should I say, Baton Rouge.
First of all, in Montreal, it's like the language is French, so that's the major difference, I think, just the language. But apart from that, it's quite similar in North America, anyways.
Because of his team motivation skills, Julian was given a very meaningful nickname.
Started last year, so Kevin DeSauer was a player on the team last year, started to call me the Birdman, and some other guys on the team kept calling me the Birdman, but honestly, I don't exactly know why they call me that.
Because of a shoulder injury, the Birdman was not able to fly around the court this past weekend. It proved costly as the Tigers fell to Tulsa 4-2. Despite the loss, Julian still has high hopes for this year's team.
Well, it's true that I've been injured a little bit in the last week or two, but with the rehab and everything, I think I'll be back to compete very soon. And I think the team is looking pretty good this year. We have a few seniors and a few young guys which are really talented, and I think the team will be will have a good shot at doing really well in the SEC and across the country.
Reporting for Sports Showtime, I'm Carter. The Power. Bryant.
Before coming to LSU, Gauthier was rated the #1 juniors player in Canada.
From the sport that was meant to be played on a tennis court to one forced there by Hurricane Gustav, intramural basketball continued last night.
That's right, Mary Claire, and we'll start you out with a couple frat games from last night. In our first game, we have Lambda Chi B versus Kappa Sig B. Lambda Chi B starts out with a nice teamwork in the passes, getting an easy jumper in the lane for 2 points. Kappa Sig B comes back down not to be outdone, comes around, fakes the pick, but then the player uses his own pump fake and gets 2 points for Kappa Sig B. Pretty much evens the game up there. On their next possession down the court, Lambda Chi B with a nice pro hop LeBron James wearing Emmitt Smith's number for 2 points. However, that didn't help them as they fall to Kappa Sig B 34-29.
For the second game of the evening, SAEB versus Pi Sig. Nice little 2-point bucket there in the lane. They're going to come back down the court here, instead go on the outside for the nice banker off the board there. And now looking again to score, SAEB he's looking for an open man, can't quite find him, but there he is, the dump inside with the little putback, one-handed. Pi Sig's looking to fight back, and they are going to right here for just a moment with this crazy block there, but it wouldn't be enough because Pi Sig would still fall to SAB 25-33.
And big news for all you basketball players out there. The Rec is holding a 3-on-3 basketball tournament with the winner scoring tickets to the SEC tournament in Tampa, as well as travel and hotel stipends.
Registration for the tournament is $10 per team and ends tomorrow. There's a men's and women's division, and the games will be held on the outdoor courts at the Rec on Tuesday, February 10th and Tuesday, February 17th.
Well, it's time for another commercial break, but when we come back, Hobie will be in the studio with your weekend preview.
Stay tuned. You're watching Sports Showtime on Tiger TV.